Hey everybody, and welcome to LootVac's first beginner's guide video. Today we're going to be doing one of the scout trucks. We're going to do the Chevy that you start with, and some beginner's tips from a beginner as well to maybe help you get along in this world of SnowRunner. So let's dive in and see what we can talk about with this pretty spunky pickup. So here we have the stock Chevrolet CK1500, one of the first starting trucks of the game. The first thing you really get your wheels wet is this truck going into the game. So right now I have it stock, and stock you can see that it's kind of low. It's a nice looking truck. I definitely dig it, but there are some things that need to be desired. So the first thing that I recommend when going into SnowRunner is trying to find some of the upgrades for this truck in particular. That being said, there is also an international scout on the map that you can also unlock, and this should make your scout trucks kind of more ballsy. You should have more flexibility with the vehicle options that you have, because each truck kind of has its own little niche, in my opinion, for what it does. So right here, you have 4 different engine variants. Now, one that you can find in this map is the AAT 8V 5.2 Custom. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that in. Now, immediately you see stock, it has a power to weight ratio of a C+, durability of B-, and fuel consumption of S. I'm not really sure exactly what S stands for, but we'll try to figure that out. So me also being new, you know, it's a new player to a new player. I can't tell you all the expert tips just yet, but one day, hopefully I'll get there. So we're going to give it the AAT 8V 5.2 Custom. So that changes our power to weight ratio to A-. The durability stays at a B+, and our fuel consumption kind of goes up to an A+. So I don't know if that's giving it better or not. So we slap that in there. So you can't really see the engine, but you get the idea. So I would recommend also finding the SnowRunner gearbox. Initially, I believed that the SnowRunner gearbox was something that would be used for the snow. But boy, was I kind of wrong when I found it and then started using it. So I don't have a purchase for this truck, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And I do need to watch because my money is kind of low. It's $42.50. I need to start doing some missions, you know, get out there and get dirty. But we'll put the SnowRunner in because I think it's a pretty robust gearbox that especially helps through the mud areas here. And you can read the sound off here where it says the gearbox is customized, and it goes through all of the options there, but we're going to keep it that way. Now, we're going to put the race suspension on, which is something that'll give you way better ground clearance to start. There's some hairy areas in Michigan. So the race suspension's good, get you over all those rocks and stuff. Tires, I'm immediately going to jump into some all-terrains right here. I like the AS2s, and that is a visual preference at that point. So once you get to the right level here, I'm only 4. You unlock the all-terrain section, I believe, and then the off-road. So I'm going to keep it all terrain for now, although I could go to a nice mud tire. The difference here not only is look, but you can see that on-road these do better, and they look like better on-road treads. I'm going to keep it a little bit more off-road. I'm not too worried about on-road efficiency right now. We're going through the mud and the muck. So we have the winch. A couple things that I will say about winches in SnowRunner is that the autonomous scout winch gives you the ability to winch without the engine being on. This is a big deal in scout trucks for SnowRunner. You're out there, you're looking around on your own, you're not wheeling with any buddies, and you roll your truck. You don't have this winch on and your engine stalls, you're in trouble. You're going to have to get another truck and bring it on out or call a friend. So, although it is expensive, I truly believe that if you pick your favorite scout truck and at least put it on that one, it'll be a much better experience for you going out on your own to explore. So right now I'm going to leave the stock on it. I don't have the money to spend on that, but we will start working towards that in the future. Diff lock unlocked. I don't have the engageable one yet. Kind of a bummer, but this will get you in good standing to be able to explore a little bit. The snorkel. Snorkel's always a vital piece of equipment, especially when dealing with water or mud. I don't have the money to get a snorkel right now. So right now, my water line is essentially up to what I call the bow tie. I'm not 100% sure in this year Chevy truck where the airbox is, but the bow tie in the front there above the license plate, I always say water to that level, you're kind of pushing the danger zone. Now, the game does tell you when you're getting to dangerous waters and stuff like that, but you can kind of use it as a base look. and say, you know what, I think it's deeper than the bow tie, I don't think I should do it. Frame add-ons. So these are great when you're out solo. So in my mind, and I'm not saying anybody's doing it the wrong way, so you take these trucks out and you want them to be as self-sufficient as possible. You want your CK1500 to be able to go out there, get to a destination, and do it well, and do it independently. Independence is the staple of the scout trucks, in my honest opinion. Now, if you have another idea what you use scout trucks for, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear how everybody uses these tools in this game for different jobs, and that's what makes it so unique. So, truck repair supplies, a small roof rack, and the roof rack, although not unlocked, I need to be a higher level, are all things to aspire for. Truck repair supplies are great. If you blow out a wheel, this has a wheel for you, and 50 repair parts. You bang up your engine, you hit something, especially if you're new. That also adds a little bit of weight to the bed. All of these, I think, add a little bit of weight, although the power to weight ratio doesn't change. I feel a difference in high center of gravity with a roof rack on top, which you wouldn't have that case with a bed. So this roof rack obviously does change the weight because it drops the power to weight ratio from an A- to a B+. So that's something else you want to keep in mind. I do wish that the game had more robust weight tracking systems. And if it's out there, and I don't know because I'm also new, please let me know. So we got some visuals here. We got pursuit bumpers and the stock bumper. I'm not going to go and change any of those now. Extra lighting is always good, especially in areas that you're going to be doing a lot of wheeling at night. I do not know when you get to Alaska if the time change is accurate to account for sunlight at nighttime, but I wouldn't be surprised if this game pulled out those punches, in which case lighting is going to play a very big role. That bumper just looks mean. What can I say? That bumper screams off-road. Let's go into the wilderness. So I've purchased tow loops. I'm going to keep it on. The heavy-duty pipe just seems a little pedestrian for me. Something I'd see around here on the street. It's probably the cheapest option, you know, out of the AutoZone playbook there. Axle protecting, great for crawling. Great for crawling in real life. Great for crawling in the game. Going to be great. Chrome Fang, fancy little, you know, Chrome Fangs come up. You see a lot of those, you know, around on the street, pedestrian. And we have stock. So I'm going to go back to my tow loops. That's a mean bumper, right? Roar. Miscellaneous. We have side pipe thresholds. These scare me. My biggest concern with these is hanging up on things. It's either going to do one of two things. They will glide over rocks and things obscuring your path of travel, or they're going to hang you up. And I can't tell yet. I'm going to have to play around and do some views outside of the cab and kind of get an idea of how these... it won't let me rotate. Get an idea of how these are going to affect my performance. Now, they seem pretty level to the underside of the body, so they might offer some protection, but I'm not really flush with money to try that out yet. And rims. Fancy or classic. I like classic. Color. With the DLC, you get a fancy paint job, but I kind of stick away from that. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful work. I just don't rock it. I kind of go with the white contractor truck look, and then I put the stickers on the top, showing that I'm a route searcher. So let's take this modified truck out there and see how she does in the mud in front of the garage. So now that we are at our mud patch coming up, we're going to see how this Chevy does now that it's had a couple upgrades to it after finding them on the map. So in Black River, they are in various locations all around the map. I do not have everything done yet. I'm still working on it, but I do have some time behind the wheel, and I tried to get as much as I could unlocked so I could show you different areas and the size of this map after all of the watchtowers are done. There's a lot of dynamic things happening here, and that's what makes the game great, is dynamic atmosphere, dynamic road conditions, and they don't change in the way of dynamic, but they're always different everywhere you go, and the littlest things can cause a difference, be weight, power, stuff in that nature will definitely make a change. So now the first thing that we notice different about our gearbox is when we go to hold it, we have the auto, we have high, we have reverse like we did before, a low, low, and a low, high. So this gives us a little bit more options when we're getting into some rough terrain. So right now, all-wheel drive off with the lift and the tires. Let's go through some mud. We're going to get down to our soupy area, I like to call it. So right now, you can see it's struggling a little bit. So let's go ahead. It's moving well, but it's still struggling a little bit. So let's put all-wheel drive on, and this should be cake. Oh, yeah, look at her go. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Keep it up. So she handled the hill like a champ. So now we're in the soup. I call it the soup. This area is really soupy. So with the other tires, we had dangerous water level warning there. So we've come to almost a complete stop. So let's try low, low, and see how this does. We're not even using a lockable differential. But it's slow, slow. I'm not stopping. I'm not going fast. I brings it up a notch. We have some wheel spin in the mud, losing some traction, it would look like. But all in all, this would be crossable. Trying to do it without the aid of a winch. Let's go. I'm not saying that the SnowRunner Trans is the be-all, end-all transmission to put in these trucks, but it's definitely a step up from the stock one, giving you more options, more versatility for any of the terrain that you may encounter. There's always a winch to help, but sometimes it's fun to challenge yourself and try not to use the winch. So here the Chevy is doing some work with the new V8 in it, which makes it a little bit more peppy. And I'll see if I can get out of low and into that peppy mode for you, even with the SnowRunner transmission. It is a big jump up in power, and you can feel it. Until you hit mud. A lot of the starter videos that I watched disregarded the Chevy as being kind of useless and only really for tutorial purposes, but overall I've kind of challenged myself to use it a little bit more and upgrade it, striving for it to become the truck that it can be. It's not the greatest truck in the game, and there are plenty of mod trucks out there and other trucks that I think probably would, you know, outshine the class of this beautiful step side. But all in all, I think it has a place in the game, and it's a great starting truck once you kind of explore and reach out into the map a little bit and unlock those upgrades. Even now, I'm kind of going up this hill recklessly with ease and not having a bad time of it. That being said, I really think it has a place to shine once you get a few upgrades for it, and it ends up being a little underrated when you go on the forums and really ask around at what great scout trucks there are. I will be doing another video on the capabilities of the International Scout vehicle, and that one is my personal favorite for aesthetics reasons and just kind of capability also. But the Chevy, I think, still has a place. We move into low, and we start crawling at a better speed than we were in high. So I think what you want to do coming out the gate as one new player to another is start finding as many of the upgrades as you can while also making some money. Some of the upgrades might need to be purchased. I 100% don't remember. But it made the Chevrolet pretty reliable in the sense that I don't feel like there's anything that it can't handle, which I know there is. But I'm saying that with the truck, I can go out on the pretty moderate trails and get to where I need to go. It might not be the fastest way to go, but I personally don't like playing the game the fastest way possible. The whole point is to get kind of stuck and have to problem solve your way out of those situations, and I really enjoy it. Well, we made it through with the SnowRunner and the upgrades. So this truck, as I've said before, a little underrated. Thanks for stopping by my first video here at Lootvac. If you liked what you saw, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff everybody tells you always to do. You don't have to turn on notifications for me, although it's appreciated, but you don't have to. I look forward to doing another Scout video. If there's anything that you see different or you have a different viewpoint, let me know what you do with your Scouts and some great memories you had in the comments. I appreciate reading everybody's stories. So come find me on Twitch at Lootvac also. I'll be streaming the game live, and we'll see what fun and mud we can get stuck in. I appreciate it. Have a good one.